Hi everyone, this is Noah Sportsman, and today we'll be drawing some portraits from suggestions taken from Twitter and Instagram. And to spice things up a bit, I thought I could answer questions also taken from Twitter and Instagram. And so let's just dive right in. From Twitter, Dumbass Bear asks, biggest inspirations in your life? I think the biggest inspiration in my life was seeing the movie Spirited Away for the first time, which was on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s on a tiny TV with commercials. But even still, I'd never seen a movie like it, and I felt like I was a different person after watching it, and I wasn't able to operate or think straight for about a week after that one time I had seen it. And it just sort of instilled in me the sense that movies and storytelling are it's all very powerful and can help inform how we perceive the world and make sense of it. So Spirited Away was a really big influence, if not the biggest, but all the Ghibli movies as well, especially My Neighbor Totoro. I also really love My Neighbors the Yamadas. I love how loose and open the structure is and how simple the art design is. Going off of that, I'm a really big fan of comic strips, especially Calvin and Hobbes. I read all the comics when I was really young. Some animation influences include Don Hertzfeldt, especially his movie It's Such a Beautiful Day. I love that he proved that you don't need to be the best artist in the world with the most amount of talent. As long as you have the dedication and the ideas, you can make something absolutely brilliant. I also really love Yuri Norstein, the Russian animator who does paper cutout animation. It's some of the most beautiful animation I've ever seen. I love Sesame Street animation from the 70s and 80s, maybe even from the 90s. I love how rough and loose and playful it was, especially the ones by John and Faith Hubley and Sally Cruikshank. I'm a really big fan of the movie Tokyo Godfathers by Satoshi Kon. I think everything is in that movie. There's humor, there's heartbreak, it's thrilling. Everything you could want in a movie is in that movie. Some of my favorite directors who have been big inspirations for me include Kelly Reichardt and Mike Lee and the Coen brothers, David Lynch, Aki Kaurismäki, Hirokazu Koreeda, Jim Jarmusch, Robert Altman. Some musicians I really look up to include Arthur Russell, Grouper, Hiromi Hosono, Vashti Bunyan, who I met on a trip to the UK this past summer, which is a very special experience of mine. And on top of that, I really love Monty Python, who my dad showed me at a young age. And they really inform my sense of humor, I feel. Okay, next question. SGM asks, your favorite grocery store to shop at? I like to shop at my local co-op because it's got a great selection of local meat and cheeses and vegetables, and I get a good discount there because I'm an employee. Garrett asks, what's your favorite sandwich? I think my favorite sandwich and maybe my favorite food is the Semita they have at a restaurant called Street in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It's either beef or fried chicken between a sesame bun with fried Mexican cheese, avocado, cilantro, and a few other things, some sort of mayo. It's one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten in my life, and you have that with curry fries, and you're just it's a meal that will stick with you. Swiss Sauce asks, what's your focus on YouTube going to be in the future? Original shorts or YouTuber animatics? An equal amount of both? I'm not sure. I've got a few more short films that I'm going to release sometime in the future. And I'd like to keep making more, possibly more shorts with my friend Max Forrest. In terms of Oni Plays stuff. If I find a bit that they do that I think is worth animating, then I'll do that. But I don't try to force myself to make stuff unless I have an idea that I really fall in love with. So I'm hoping a mix of everything. I'm hoping I can just keep animating moving forward. So, yep. Bastard from Brooklyn asks, how did you discover Oni Plays and how did you get into animation? I discovered Oni Plays like a lot of people through Chris's animation, Zach's animation, which I watched a lot of in high school, and have just been following them since then. And how did I get into animation? I've always been drawing. It's one of those weird things that I can't explain, but I've just always been doing it. I don't stick with a lot of things, but drawing is the one thing that I have stuck with my whole life. And I didn't start animating until I got into college, but I just knew I was going to be an animator since I was as far back as I can remember. Yeah, I don't know, one of those weird things that my brain was just kind of programmed to do. Can't explain it. Ed asks, what animation software do you use and how long does one animation usually take for you? I use Adobe Photoshop mostly, which I don't think is the ideal animation software, but it's all I know how to use, and I'm a little too chicken to venture into anything else as of right now. I also use Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects for editing and effects and stuff like that. And one animation, how long does it usually take for me? It depends on the length of the animation. I don't think it takes me as long as maybe some other YouTubers because I don't focus on things like character design or how good staying on model, stuff like that, how good the animation looks. I'm very impatient and I just want to get to the animation as quick as I can, so I sort of make up the look of it as I go along. And as long as the animation, the idea of what I'm trying to get across comes across, even if it doesn't look beautiful, that's good enough for me. I try to work as minimally and as quick as I can, but even still, animation always takes a long time. Lanuski asks, comfort show if you got any. I have a few. I watch Painting with John a lot for inspiration and just for to unwind. He's got some crazy stories, and he's a great painter, and I just love watching him. Another one is Joe Para Talks with You. I love any show that takes place in a rural setting because there are not many, and especially there's not many that really capture the feeling of living in a rural town. Another one is Dr. Katz, which I'll sometimes put on to help me fall asleep. I also really love the show Taskmaster, which is just a great show to watch when you're eating dinner. Pinata Time asks, what's the worst cartoon? I don't have an answer for that. I tend to avoid stuff that I assume will upset me. I don't really hate watch anything. I try to go into things with an open mind, but I only really approach things if I know that there's a possibility I might like it. So, yeah, I'm sorry I don't have an answer for that. Disgusting asks, AG, would you make me a sandwich? Yep, I've got turkey and avocado, tomato, and a little bit of Gouda left in the fridge. Just please save me a little because I've got work tomorrow. Ari asks, what's in the bag? I can tell you the bag closest to me holds a lot of my toiletries, my toothbrush, my toothpaste, my floss, that sort of thing. Thank you for your question. Minjus asks, what's your favorite dinosaur? I do have an answer. It's a big hairy dinosaur with a duckbill that hangs out in swamps. I can't pronounce its name properly. I think it's a I can't pronounce it. I apologize, but I love the look of it. I love whoever designed it did a really good job. Adam Driver, hello, asks, most traumatic moment in your life. When I was in high school, I did an improv comedy workshop, And all I can say is I made the room go silent. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Logan asks, eggs? I don't eat a lot of eggs. I like them sparingly. I like them with my rice. And as a method to bring certain types of animals, birds, lizards, what have you, into the world, I think they're a valuable asset. So overall, I have positive feelings towards eggs. Thank you for your questions. I will move on to questions from Instagram now. First questions, what are your thoughts on caramelized onions? I like them a lot. Add them to a burger or pizza, and the burger or pizza will be a million times better. Next question, why are plums and avocados so different and the same? I'm not sure. I think it might be something to do with the environment in which they grow, but I apologize for not having more of an answer for you. I will look into it and get back to you as soon as I can. Next question, what's like your favorite TV show or color? I've got a few favorite TV shows. I mentioned Painting with John, Joe Pera Talks with You, Dr. Katz Taskmaster. I'm also a really big fan of the show Freaks and Geeks. I love Twin Peaks, especially The Return. I like the show Fargo, especially the second season. I'm a really big fan of the show Fooly Cooly. I've probably seen it 20 times in my life. I also really liked that show Devs with Nick Offerman. Favorite color. When I was young, my answer would have been orange. Now I really like a yellowish green. I like a sort of pinky red. And I still do like the color orange. If I were to pick one, I might just settle with the yellowish green. Next question, what's your favorite Jim Henson creation? I really love Gonzo. I really love Beaker. I think Big Bird as a creation is beautiful. I think the design of it is really amazing. I really like Hoggle from Labyrinth. I think he's very expressive for what he is, a person in a suit with a big animatronic head, but even still he feels alive. I also really like Ludo as a design. I think is very appealing. I do not like Sir Didymus. Please don't ask me about Sir Didymus. I think overall, though, if I were to pick one, it would be the caterpillar or that blue worm from Labyrinth, because it's possibly the cutest thing ever put to film. I don't normally like bugs, but whatever they did, the voice, the design, it all comes together to make such a cute, appealing character. I wish there was more of that worm in the movie. Next question, how do you solve the problem that is Prince Andrew? When I have a problem like that, I usually try Windex. If that doesn't work, Gorilla Glue is normally a good alternative. Next question, what's in the hole? I'm not sure what this is a reference to, and frankly, I'm a little offended you would ask me something that I'm not privy to. So please consider your questions a little more next time. What are some of your favorite anime? I already mentioned Fooly Cooly and Tokyo Godfathers and the movies of Studio Ghibli, but one movie I want to highlight from Studio Ghibli is Whisper of the Heart, which, if you're a creative person, is just such an affirming, gentle movie. I watch it anytime I'm in a slump. Some other movies that come to mind include Night is Short, Walk on Girl, which is a lot of fun. There's a movie called Night on the Galactic Railroad, which is one of the stranger movies I've seen. I can't really describe it. And finally, there's a TV movie called Junkers Come Here, which is so surprisingly emotionally raw and honest for a movie about a girl and a talking dog. So I recommend checking that out. It's just on YouTube, spelled Junkers. So yeah, those are some recommendations. And the final question, Do you like manatees? I do. Thank you for submitting your questions and for your portrait suggestions. I look forward to sharing my work with you in the future. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Noah Sportsman. And I hope you all have a very good day. Please do not mention Sir Didymus to me.